Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, feeling a little bit puffy this morning. Yeah, I as some of you know, because you were on the Destination Decluttered. Hey, Carla, you're up early with me. Nice to see you. I was just about to say to the folks, and Becky, I was just about to say to the folks that some of you may know this because you were on the Destination Decluttered Zoom last night, that there is a fair down the street from us, a carnival we would call it as a kid. And boy, remember when I was talking about it's still on my desk, having cotton candy. It's like waking up after a party and seeing like all the snack things and drinko things. I'm like, ooh, my body is feeling the fact that I had too much cotton candy. You know what, Carla? I love this too because you, Becky. I don't know if you meant to say this, but I love it because you wrote "Goof Morning," which I love almost as equally, if not more so, than "Good Morning." But I will say this, Carla, too. So I set an alarm for this morning too because I think the reason I picked 7 a.m. is because on my consultation calendar I had a few slots open. So I wanted to keep those open in case people wanted to do those. But speaking of the alarms that I set, the last couple of days I have not known why I was walking around, and this is such a niche thing. Becky, that's totally okay. I love Goof Morning. That's even better. Ms. Crentis, nice to hear from you. Um, so anyhow, yes, definitely yesterday morning and the day before, I was like walking around going, why do I have the Duran Duran song "Save a Prayer" going through my head? I have no idea. Why is it popping up in my head? And then I realized this morning that whatever ringtone is attached to the alarm on my phone for the morning, it's not coming up as like the standard, like beep, beep. It's going like do do do. I can't even sing it. But the funny thing is that the alarm. I realized it this morning. I was like, that's why I have "Save a Prayer" by Duran Duran going through my head in the morning. It's because the alarm, when it goes off, even if I'm already awake, it went off in my pocket this morning when I was getting my cereal ready. And so I just cracked up to be like, like I felt like Nancy Drew, like mystery solved. Now I know I had that song going through my head. But getting curious about it. So good morning, all. 7 a.m. on a Friday. Guess what? It's better than 9 o'clock on a Saturday with the regular crowd shuffling in. Mama Pepper, nice to see you. And Happy Crumb Bakery, that sounds good. Scooposaurus Rex and Brezzo and all sorts of people tuning in. German Maid, 95, nice to see you. All sorts of good stuff. What can we say? So it's Friday. It's Friday, the end of a week of work, perhaps for some. It's early in the morning. We've got a weekend ahead of us. I am kind of blown away by the fact that next weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and the kind of unofficial, at least where I live, I live in my head, the unofficial start of summer. Good morning, Jennifer. Nice to see you. And so here I am for you. Why do I do these TikTok lives? Oh, because I love getting up in the morning and showing up with my pajama pants on and drinking my tea. And actually, I do sincerely love, if I have something that I can share with you that's going to make your life easier, I want to do it. You know, this is again where my musical brain comes up with, and I'm like, oh, Vanilla Ice. You know, if you've got a problem, I'll solve it. Now, I will say, I may not solve your problem. It's more important that you solve your problem. But boy, would I like to make it easy for you and help you. Oh, actually, interesting. So Ellen, nice to see you last night. Ambler Car Show is this weekend. Oh, that sounds like fun. Um, we've got plans actually here where we live. I live in Phoenixville, PA, and we have a carnival down the street. That's why I'm feeling kind of like, talk about garbage in, garbage out, you guys. When you're not, when you do something that you think is going to be like, it's almost like clutter. Let me riff on this real quick, but yeah. But we have a parade in town tomorrow because we've got a whole annual festival thing that's going on for forever. But I realized how much I You know what? We're human. We don't always do the same thing every day. We are not robots. So I can say, when you feel good, you do good. And when you feel better, you do get better. So I say that in my coaching and I say it to myself. And most of the times I listen to myself. But sometimes, you know what feels good? Is to buy some cotton candy and eat some cotton candy. You know what can feel good? Is walking around this little, carnival and checking out the food trucks and eating some cheesesteak deep fried dumplings, because we're in the Philly area, so of course cheesesteak everything. The interesting thing, though, much like shopping and the stuff that accumulates on you, clutter wise, is that is like a momentary good feeling, but it can lead to like kind of a crash. It can lead to a not so good feeling. I'm realizing that this morning when I woke up and I was like, gosh, I literally, you guys, I haven't eaten well in the last 2 days and I am feeling it. Now, this used to never happen, not never happen to me. Maybe I was used to feeling crappy and now I'm used to feeling good. So it's definitely like a contrast. But also our bodies change, our priorities change. Maybe you've lived with clutter for years and years and years and it didn't seem to bother you and now it does. That's totally okay. Totally okay. So trust me, I'm here to help you. And just know that you're not going to be perfect. Please don't even try to be perfect, but every single day to be like, I'm going to do some decluttering every single day. That's a nice plan, but literally if you show up for 75-60% of that, you're still kicking some major butt. There will be times when you don't do it. There are going to be times in your life when you don't do any decluttering. You're going to let the dishes pile up in the sink. I know I do. There's going to be times when you're out in the world and you see something and you're shopping and you're like, oh, I think this is going to make things better. And you buy it and you spend the money on it, you bring it home, and it doesn't work out. These things are going to happen. So the cool thing is to remind yourself that you're a human and not everything is perfect. You make the best decision at the time and maybe you learn and you do better. The good news is for me anyway, I was talking about this last night, I think to some friends, but I have this, I came up with it just this year. I came up with this idea called once a year foods. Certain things that I eat, granted, I'm not going to get into like eating and stuff like that, but noticing what you do is like, okay, well, so I had, again, it's right here, and I probably will finish this. This is the thing I still love. This is a bag of cotton candy, in case you don't know that. So I had probably too much sugar last night, and my human body is like, whoa, dude. My kingdom for a salad is literally the phrase that went through my head. But getting back on the horse, getting back on the road again, as soon as you can, is really going to help you in any area. So like, for example, when you're doing decluttering. So good morning, everybody. So the people who know me, hey, nice to see you folks again. People who don't, just hello. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. And my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, it's called Destination Decluttered because I'm about to point to this little thing that I have behind me in my head, this little graphic I made up, pretty much with like construction paper and little tape rolls. There's a heart right here. This is where you want to go to. You're on a map. You're on a road trip. Where do you want to go to? Hopefully you want to go to a destination you're excited about. And I want to help you get there. So I show up, I answer your questions about clutter. Hopefully make you feel like you're not alone. And I want to remind you of your humanity and the fact that you are going to make decisions in your life that you might think are good at the time and you may later regret. It's okay. I love the road trip analogy because I want to share this with you. Is if you are letting the clutter pile up, if you're like, oh my gosh, it's so much I can't even, and you just keep on driving down that clutter road, it's going to continue to get cluttered. But as soon as you do something different, as soon as you kind of drive towards destination decluttered, whatever it is for you, you're changing the direction of what you're doing. So, as I said, for the last couple of days, I've eaten crappy and now I feel crappy. But literally right before I signed on here, I was like, I can't continue going down this road. It's just going to be worse and worse and worse and worse. So I stopped and I said, what can I do even right now to divert myself? And so, oh my God, again, who am I? I ate a bowl of like Fiber One all brand with almond milk and blueberries. I sound like an old hippie, but I know that's going to be something more that my body needs as opposed to a bunch of sugar. Okay? Carla Holiday just said, after last night's Zoom, because I do a Zoom call with the people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list. If you want to be on it, destinationdecluttered.com. You can find the link there. I decided mentally I'm trading my SUV for a two-seater. Yeah, you know what? So here's Carla. I get it. Both ideologically and also in real life, that would be kind of fun too. No more room for backseat drivers. Okay. So what I want to say is, so I use this phrase in case people don't know. I talk about being the driver in your car. So I was driving towards, let me get some, what do we get? Some pretzels, some deep fried pretzels, and then some, cheesesteak egg rolls, and then some this, and I'm going to wash it all down with a Diet Coke. Keep on going down that way. I'm going to feel some way. You can change. You can redirect. You can change where you're steering at any time. You can put on the gas and move forward. You can put on the brakes and stomp. You can slow down. You can speed up. You can look in the rearview mirror and say, oh, that's what I did yesterday. No wonder right now I don't feel so great. Oh, but what I want you to think of is looking ahead through the windshield and imagining that if your life in your home isn't looking and feeling like you want it to, that you can do something different. Now, I have also this concept of you being the driver. I'm the driver of my life. You're the driver of yours. We're not alone in our cars. And sadly, Carla, no matter how many seats you have in your car, you will always have what I call, at least the way I coach and the way it has helped me process a lot of this esoteric information, two invisible passengers. You've got your co-pilot. Your co-pilot is the voice in your head, the person sitting next to you in the car whose sole purpose is for you to live your best life, whatever that means for you. That person's sitting there just waiting to hear from you. Where do you want to go? That person's got the map. That voice has got the map. That person's gonna make it easy. I think to me, it's like almost like the coach pilot. Like I like to show up being like, okay, where do you want to go? I can help you. I can help you because I have a process in my coaching that I use. So I like to show up in co-pilot energy. You can do this. I can help you. I am only here for you. Doesn't matter where I want to go. That's my own trip, and I'm doing it quite well myself. But I've learned some things about doing that I want to help you with. So you've got your co-pilot. Now, you may not even know this. You may no, all I hear in my head is this, can't do it. We're doomed. Stop. Don't do that. Keep on doing the same old thing. I don't want you to change. That is what I call your backseat driver voice. Now, sometimes we realize that those voices are in our heads, and sometimes those voices are real life people. But no matter how many seats you have in your car, you will have these voices in your head for the rest of your life. Okay? So the cool thing is about that, though, instead of, oh, shucks, they're not going to have them, learning how to get along with them while also getting to where you want to go is navigating. You ever been in a car with people who are fighting in the back seat and you yell at them to shut up? That's not fun. That's not a good feeling. But when you're all kind of collaborating and listening to each other, but saying, hey, listen, I'm still the driver. None of you can steer. I'm steering. And with love, I'm telling you to be quiet. And we are driving this way because I know me getting my house decluttered is going to feel good. And this is why we're doing this. I'm not Martha Stewart. I'm not, one of these fancy matchy type people. I love how my house looks because it's my house and I love it and it's filled with love. I do this for you because I know it feels better when your house is more manageable. Okay? So Jaded Libra is saying, selling my home and decluttering. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. If you're selling your home and decluttering, that is a wonderful opportunity for you to kind of look through the windshield and look down the road and say, okay, before I even get there, let me define what I want my home to. And I always like to work in threes because 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. So thinking about how you want your home to look is kind of like the very top level. We always think, oh, I want it to look better. I want it to look better. But the two things that I like to play with, because I like to get under the hood. I like to go a little bit deeper. I'm not just about, put your stuff in the little, clear containers and there's your Cheerios and there's your rice and all that kind of stuff. That to me has no interest. Anybody can do that. I love getting under the hood and saying, how do you want your home to function? because I love systems and I love it when things work well, when it's easy. Easy to find something, easy to use something, easy to put it away. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I love easy. Who doesn't? And also when things don't take a lot of time. I don't like things that are too complicated. I like to make things simple. I like them to take a short amount of time so that you spend a little bit of time doing the things you have to do and a lot of times doing the things you want to do. Okay? You love systems, Jaded Lieber, so do I. Oh my gosh, I was on a consultation yesterday with a new client, actually. We ended up saying yes to coaching yesterday. I'm so excited about that because I know we're going to have a blast doing this. And she was like, all I just need is some systems. And my internal, me was like, yes, because a lot of the decluttering, a lot of the clutter has started in your life. I don't know if this will resonate with you, but maybe you just didn't learn a good system to not just declutter, but to live a less cluttered life, not a clutter-free life. That sounds all very kind of commercially and stuff. A less cluttered life. Maybe you were raised by people who were affected by the Great Depression of the 20s and 30s, like my family was. Maybe you grew up raised by people who did not have a lot. My family did not come from money. So they hung on to stuff. You need that someday. Don't get rid of that. We got it. We're going to use it. But sometimes you don't use it. Sometimes you just hang on to it just in case because you're afraid that you might need it. And then when you need it, you don't have the money. So you may have been raised by people who have their own issues about clutter. Maybe you grew up in a really clean home and somebody did it all for you and then never taught you. Maybe it was easy for them, and so they assumed it was going to be easy for you. I remember that with both of my parents, actually. Both of my parents were oldists of their family, and I pretty much know that they assumed I would be like them, to be like, oh yeah, you'll figure out, you'll do the things. We were very self-startery, and so we got ourselves together. Why can't you? I was different. I am different. I really could have benefited from some encouragement, support, attention. I'm Gen X, latchkey kids. But you know what? I know where I came from, but the cool thing is, I know where I am now, and I freaking love my house. I love how it looks. I love how it functions. And here's the best part, people. Save the best for last. How it feels. How do you want to feel in your house? I walk around and I'm like, I freaking love this house. It's tiny. I love my tiny little house. It could even be smaller and I still love it. I walk around looking at the stuff I have. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I love opening up the blinds every morning. Love, 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 love. Okay. Catherine is saying, wonder if you want a system, but others in the household will not follow through with that system. Okay. All right. So here's what I want to, and Catherine, good thing. And here's what I want to mention about that. Many times, ourselves included, I want you to just put yourself in that situation too. Somebody asks you to do something different. Now, first of all, if the something different is going to require them to exert effort, they're going to be resistant. Why do I have to do that? Notice the curiosity. Why? Why are we going to do this? Before you even talk with them, I want you to think of answering this question, why do I want to change this, in the kind of what's in it for me? For you, what's in it for me? Why should I declutter? Why do I want to? I don't want to sound like this is almost going to be like a sales pitch to your people, but in order to get buy-in, I don't know why I'm talking in business speak. I freaking hate business speak. In order to get them engaged and interested in why they should change what they're doing, ask that question, why am I going to do this? You know what? Others in the household will not follow through with the system. Okay. They also probably, and not to get too kind of global or society, they probably are benefiting from the current system. Why would they want to change something that's going to take away their benefit and now they're going to have to participate? Now, I'm not saying, oh, then give up on it. No. But know where you're started and want to change things enough for yourself that you will put up with their tantrums. But also get clear on for yourself why you want to do this, how it's going to make their lives easier, how it's going to make it simpler. Because right now, if you're living in a cluttered home, I bet there are a lot of areas when I do my consultations, I'm seeing it out of the corner of my eye. This is why I'm saying it, is I like to think of a pie, or as I like to say, because I have fun on my consultations, if you don't like pie, we get a pizza. If you don't like pizza, I get a cake. If you don't like cake, we get a quiche or any other kind of round food stuff that you can cut into sections. This is your whole life, is this pie or this quiche. Each section of your life, there are a number of sections of your life where if you think about it, how does the clutter affect it in not such a great way? Okay? So just think about those things and work on yourself first. Because if you don't know why you're doing something, you can't explain why you want somebody else to do it. And that old, just because I say so, we all are going to be like, yeah, whatever, dude, you know? So why do you want to do it? I have this written down. I've updated it because I found a better little thing from my inspirational calendar. What do I want? We aren't really taught to ask that and be serious about it. Doesn't matter what I want. It's all what you want. No, don't worry about me. It's just I want to make you happy. I say, F that. You start with yourself. You make yourself happy. Man, are you going to make so many other people happy. If I was the miserable, sad, scared, Smiths listening person that I was in my teens and 20s, I would not be showing up at 7 a.m., no makeup, unwashed, feeling oogie because I ate too much cotton candy last night and try to help people. No, I'd be in my own bed going, I don't feel good. No, I still do that sometimes, but I feel better about what I'm doing, so I do better. Okay? User 2715 is saying, show us your house. No. No. You see bits of my house when I do my TikTok lives. There's a possibility that there's an opportunity to see my house at some point, but that's on the back burner. All right. Eric66NC says, we cleaned house when company was coming. Shovels in closets. One closet door would fall open. Oh my gosh, yes. I am so with you. I am so with you. I am not kidding you when I say, Eric, and anybody else who, if this sounds familiar, you would kind of shove things away like it looked good on the surface, like the surface areas, how it looked was good, kind of just on the surface, but don't open that door. Well, we go from surface to storage, surface clutter to stored clutter. Whoo! My mother would call it, I guess there used to be an old-timey radio show called Fibber McGee and Molly. I guess we can Google it. But the funny thing is there was a thing called McGee's Closet. They would have a thing, don't open that door, and then it would be like, everything falling down. And that was the house I grew up in. I am not kidding you when I am almost 99.9% sure. Heck, I'll just say 100%. Or maybe like Ivory Soap, what is it, 99 and 44/100% pure. I was a couple of weeks ago up in the attic of the house I grew up in. My dad passed away 13 years ago. My mom still lives there. She wants to age in place. So I am going up from where I live in Pennsylvania up to New England and helping her with that. I am not kidding you that when I was up in the attic, I found a couple of plastic bags full of mail. It had been opened very neatly. My dad used to take a steak knife, open up the mail. He would take it out and he'd put it back in the envelope. Totally inefficient system, Dad. I love you, but no. And it was in like a bag, like a plastic bag from like a bookstore. My dad used to buy a lot of books. It was so old that the plastic was disintegrating. I am telling you, they were from 1969, 1974, all this stuff. I know that those bags of mail made it up to the attic because company was coming and you were just shoving things. So, Eric, anybody, it cracks me up to this day how the fact that I grew up in that way is allowing me to help other people. So I don't come from up on the mountain being like, you cluttered people down there. I am right here with you, okay? Carla's asking, since you started coaching, do you find most cluttered people didn't start the clutter? But it has, I think you were saying it, and it kind of, okay. What do I want to say? Okay. Clutter comes from all places. But I'll even share this one. Carla, clutter comes from in here. So for example, the clutter may come from you bringing it in. The clutter may come from somebody else being cluttered and you want to honor their existence and not disrupt them because that's their life. The clutter may come into you by saying yes to things you don't want when somebody says, do you want them, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. So you say yes to something coming in, even though you know you don't want it. The clutter comes in a lot of ways, but and this is no judgment. I find we all clutter for different reasons, and in different seasons of our life, it comes in different ways. Like I now know that I am slowly getting a few more things. I'm being very, not gatekeepy, but I'm very gatekeepy about what I get in my house. It does not mean I don't love my parents and those giant swirly glass whale oil lamp, anybody, that they loved. They loved them. And then they bought one for each one of us because they loved them and they cost money and they were a good quality antique. Oh my goodness. It just doesn't go with my life, and that's okay. My mother has happily gotten used to the fact, and she's cool with, yeah, you know what? I'm probably going to sell mine because it's not me, and that's okay. So, Jen is saying you are so Gen X. Gen X, get it? And I love it. I can relate. Yeah, you know what? I am so Gen X. I am elder Gen X. I am on the cusp. I can look one way and I see Generation Jones, but I am telling you, I am OG Gen X like nobody's business because there is definitely, I know that there's a societal thing right there. And the funny thing is that one of the Gen X things with me is my constant songs going through my head and my pop culture references as like my secret language. I remember, I will share this with you guys. I was wary about getting into the coaching space because when I saw coaches out there, all I saw were these coiffed women in their tight little dresses and their high heels and their little kind of like, it was almost like they had a Q-tip right here, with their little microphones walking around. And I was like, I don't relate to that. The message may be good. If I close my eyes and I hear the message, I might be able to sort through and pull out the gems, kind of like a collector I am. So I can sort through crap and pull out the good stuff. That's what happens when you go antiquing, or not antiquing. Antiquing is the gems. Thrifting, trash picking. I am so good at thrifting and trash picking. I can spot quality and pull it out of even the most random things. However, I also was like, well, and I remember literally saying this to this friend of mine when we were both thinking of how much coaching had helped us, and we wanted to kind of give back and share with what we learned. And I said, if I have to turn into one of those people, I don't want to get into coaching. If that's all that's available, I can't do it. It will be so unlike me. I might as well just go back to a dead-end job in corporate America and have somebody else pay my health insurance. Thank you very much. However, and I remember saying to her, and it's funny because she's easily 10 or 15 years younger than me, and I was just like, you know what? I just want somebody who gets my jokes. That when I say, insert random pop culture thing here, Charlie Brown, they will know what I'm talking about. And they will laugh and there will be a connection. Like, oh, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah, this is like, whatever. Finding your people. I'll never forget this, and I will totally share it to this day. There's a self-help person out there, Jen Sincero. It's like sincerely, like Sincero. She's got this whole You Are a Badass book series. Now, trust me, if I just saw this thing, You Are a Badass, I'm like, yeah, whatever, boss babe. I am so like, again, Gen X, whatever. Isn't that like our high school marching song or whatever? And yeah, when I heard her on a podcast, I remember I can quote the day and time. I was like, she is funny. Oh, she didn't get her act together till she was in her 40s? I thought everybody had their act together except for me. So I say this because Gen Xers, we are also of an era that we have our own stuff. We've been around for a few decades, am I right? We have our own stuff. But then if we have kids, we've got kids with their stuff, and we've got parents or family with their stuff. We are the meat in the sandwich. And so if we don't watch it, we're going to have their stuff, ours, yours, mine, and ours. Wasn't that like a 60s TV show? So I show up for us. And us is anybody who's struggling with clutter. You don't have to be Gen X. I have had one-on-one clients literally in their 20s, and I've had one-on-one clients in their 70s, and all in between. So, okay, Jaded Libra, let me help you with this, because I see the little crying. Notice this, and this is great. Notice the emojis you use. when you are communicating about stuff. And I love this because Jaded Libra is saying trying to get this house for showing is, and it's like, ah. Notice the emojis you use reflect how you feel. And notice when you're feeling kind of like the little squinty eyes and like the face, you're probably not, I was going to say doing your best work, but that doesn't sound right. I'm already editing myself. You're not, when you don't feel good, you're probably not doing the best. So work on feeling better about it. Calming down your nervous system, quieting down, breathing down. When you start to, when your body is feeling activated and not good, that's something that you can pay attention to. Anxious, nervous, all that. You can do something about that. You can help by, and I just use the word down as a quick, like a quick shorthand. Quiet down, calm down, slow down, breathe down. Spending 1 freaking minute. 1 minute. Where's my little timer? This is a 2-minute timer. 1 minute. Quieting down, slowing down, breathing down. When you do that, you're going to feel better. And then when you're in that headspace, as opposed to reactive and activated and kind of fight or flight, when you've calmed down just a little bit, kind of like a little kid, if they're throwing a tantrum and they're freaking out, shh, or an animal, shh, it's okay. I know that was a loud noise, but it's okay. Shh, quiet down. When you do this to yourself, take care of yourself like you would somebody you love. Quiet them down with love. Quiet yourself down with love. And then when you do that, ask yourself, okay, I'm trying to get this house for showing. How do I want it to look for the showing? And in that better state of mind and nervous system, as I said, breathe down, calm down, slow down, quiet down, then write down. Get a pen and paper and get a crappy notebook. And whatever comes up, write it down. Get the thoughts out of your head and onto paper, because that's how a roadmap is made. That's how a plan is made. That's how a blueprint is made. That's how you get from one place to another. Nobody really did anything of value, of long-term value, by keeping your thoughts in your head. The thoughts start here, but if they're stuck there, you don't get to create what you want, okay? But I just offer this because when people say, how do I start when I'm doing my decluttering? Before we even talk about your destination or how you want it to look, check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? Check in with yourself and say, okay, self. And I think this is really interesting because I have a little thing that I made in a craft class. I am not crafty. I took a class and I wrote, trust yourself. And notice we tend to use the word yourself is in yourself, but if you break it apart, you've got yourself. You have a self. Maybe it's your spirit, your soul, your co-pilot, your energy, the universe, whatever you want to call it. But yourself, calm down yourself. Trust yourself. And hang out with yourself. Write the stuff down, and then we can make a plan. We chunk it down, we put it on the calendar, we make it easy, okay? So, I love it. I missed some things here. So I am, Gen X, you could go by Gen X. Okay, here we go. This is what happens sometimes too. A couple of things is, I love TikTok for what it is, but the one thing that irks me is the fact that, again, functionality, I want it to be easier. I like to be methodical. First I go for the ones, then for the twos, then for the threes. No, you got to be bold, innovate. I'd rather be neat. So maybe this is my inner Felix Unger as opposed to Oscar Madison on the Challenge Yahtzee commercial circa 1973. Exactly. Christine saying, haha, who came over to your parents' house in 1969? Yeah. You know what? Probably my dad. My dad used to play bridge. It was like when the bridge group came over. That was like the one day we had snacks. We'd come down the next morning like little mice, being like seeing what's left over, the little cheese, not cheese popcorn. That was sometimes when you went on a road trip. But do you wonder why I have snack issues? Work-life balance and work took more of my time. Yeah, work, life, birth, school, work, death. It all takes up a section of your pie, and sometimes things can work for a while, but then things get out of whack. Right? Okay, Jaded Libra. I love the insight because I know the feeling. Found myself filling a space in my heart with clutter. Me too. Me too. I filled it with clutter and ice cream. Perfume is an expensive fill. Yeah. I know one of the reasons I have a collection of over 100 Chizo plastic snow domes from traveling that I started collecting in the 80s and 90s is because that filled a certain part of my soul. Now the cool thing is I have fixed this. I have kind of healed this a little bit. So I don't feel the need to do that. I still enjoy looking at vintage stuff, but do I need it? Do I long for it? No. Sure, if I see something that I really want, that I can imagine how it would benefit me and fit in the house, I will buy it. But that doesn't really happen anymore. Okay? Yeah, Jen is saying my parents have my grandparents' stuff. Yeah, completely. Generations. We are affected by the generations beyond us. It was really interesting. I recently got to know one of my aunts a little bit more from my mother's side of the family, and I asked her because she, grew up with my grandmother. I was like, "So was Gram? Like, how did Gram?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, she used to make piles of paper all the time. Yeah, that's how she did it." My grandmother was also the mother of 7 kids, so she had a lot going on. Both of my parents were paper pilers. I can now efficiently go through paper like nobody's business. Now I say that like I'm showing off, but then do I look over here and I have 2 little pieces of paper that I'm like, oh, that's right. I got to do something with those. I'm not perfect, but I'm so much better than I was. All right. Carla, I love it. I have had so many people tell me you walk around in a mental musical, don't you? 24/7. Why not? Jazz hands. Come on, people. I've got a lot of living to do. There's music to play, places to go, people to see. Everything for you and me. She's going to sing the whole song. No, I won't. But you've got a lot of living to do, okay? That's one of those songs, like if I have an inspirational playlist I made a number of years ago, and that's on it. You know? You've got a lot of living to do, so let's not spend any more time than you have to cleaning out your house and making it easy to live in it, all right? Now, KitKat60 is saying closets are the hardest for me because they are stored clutter. There's a lot of clutter in a little room. In order to do that, you got to sort it out and spread it out. And I can help with that. I love it. People are bonding over their, yeah. Somebody's, you make my dreams come true. Hall & Oates. Love it. Love it. Love it. Hall & Oates are from the Philly area. We saw them once. Such good hits. Hits after hits. Alrighty. Okay. So Jen is saying, hubby died 8 years ago after we downsized to his illness, still getting rid of stuff. Jen, you bring up a really good point. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm so sorry your hubby passed. I know that is one of the biggest stressors of life. I want you to know, and everybody here, the timeline that you declutter on is completely 100% up to you. I want you to think of it like this. I want you to think of it like a road trip. Please, seriously, if you just think of everything like a road trip and you're the driver, it's going to change your life because that's the little thing, the little difference that changed everything for me. I used to write about road trips all the time. I have books. I have a website. I did videos, all the things. But yet my life wasn't the way I wanted it to. And I'm always like, I can plan such a kick-ass road trip. Why can't I plan my life to be kick-ass like my road trips? And then my co-pilot, thank you co-pilot, said, I don't know, why not? Why can't you? What would it be like if you planned your life like a road trip? And I'm like, wait, what? Well, I'd have to decide where to go. Yeah, road trip is usually from point A to point B, from Chicago to LA, from Fort Kent, Maine to the Key West and all that. Are you excited to get there? I don't even know where there is. Okay, let's start there. What do you want your home? What do you want your life to look like? Oh, that's too scary because it never happens. Let's just try it. Trust me. You don't have to trust me, but I would not be showing up to do this if I didn't know what I did worked, both for me and for my clients. So I just offer this as something. You don't have to do a damn thing I say, but I just want to offer you some seeds that if they're of interest to you, you can plant them in the brain of your garden, the garden of your brain, water them, see what sprouts. these seeds will sprout cool flowers. Okay? Alrighty. So what I mean by this is timeline. So you're here, decluttering is there, but you're here dealing with feelings. Whoa, feelings. You've got surface clutter, you've got stored clutter, like closets, sentimental. Sentimental clutter is the stuff that is the most challenging, not impossible, but the sentimental clutter makes you feel feelings. The sentimental clutter takes more energy and you get less of a result. It's almost like when you're driving on a road trip, you go and you're driving like, I drove 1 hour today and I drove 70 miles because I was just on the highway. This is easy. That's like the surface clutter. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. Boom, 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 boom. Sentimental clutter is really getting at the heart of it. Is like when you're trying to start your Route 66 road trip at the sign in downtown Chicago, and you're just trying to navigate all those little streets, the left and the right. You could drive an hour in a city, and it can take your energy and your focus, and you only move a few feet, maybe a mile. So pick a pace that works for you, and don't let anybody tell you any different. Trust yourself that you are working at a pace that feels right to you, and show up at that pace. You could do a Route 66 road trip by driving 100 miles an hour, zoom, 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 but you're going to miss a lot, and you might be all like freaked out like a trucker on trucker speed. You could drive from Chicago to LA, 55 miles an hour. This feels pretty good. Looking around, pulling over. You could drive 20 miles an hour. Now, you'd probably be kind of slow. Boy, would you have a chance to look around and absorb things, but it may take you a while to get there. Luckily, you're not at one fixed engine speed. You can vary the speed. On days that you feel better, you're going to do better. On days that you're not feeling so great, you may not do. You may do a little bit. And there may be some days where you don't do anything at all. Trust yourself, and feel cool with the pace you're moving at. Now, if you're not moving at all, maybe coaching can help you. Maybe if you're stuck, if you don't know what to do, but check in with yourself. And when you're feeling better, what's going to happen is when we're mean to ourselves, we close down. When we love ourselves, we open up. And all of the answers are in you. I just ask the questions and I give you the space to listen to your own answers. And then we write them down because there's gold in them Nar Hills, people, and right here. And then we use your answers to help you move forward. Because what worked for me is a starting point, but it may not work for you, but we find what works for you. Okay? I love this. KitKat60 is saying, if I put things away too well, I forget about it completely. Yeah, sometimes remembering where things are can be a detriment, but I will offer this. I bet there are things that you put away that you know where they are. You could write a note to yourself. There are many ways. You don't have to rely on your brain for everything. Probably more than any other time in the existence of humanity, we have so many ways that we can, this comes back to when I used to work corporate, we can offshore some of the tasks that our brains used to do onto something else. Even something as simple as a pen and paper or a note app or an app on your phone. You don't have to use this for everything because we have other ways to do that. So maybe there's a way that you remember it by writing it down. Don't forget, I put the, new Christmas bulbs in that box. Okay? Use your brain. This is the cool thing. I love this part. When you learn systems and processes, and that sounds a lot more fancy than it is, but it is a system. Repeatable gets you the results. When you learn how to offload some of that mundane stuff from your brain is going to do the thing it does best, which is creativity and problem solving. It's going to create ideas and help you, again, if you got a problem, you'll well solve it. It's going to help you get to where you want to go. All right. User 616440 is saying, my daughter is moving back home after 4 years of college with a lot of stuff. Ugh. Okay. This is a perfect opportunity for you to learn how to declutter so you can help her. You can teach her what you're learning even from these TikTok lives. Or, and here I'll slide into a little side infomercial, or if you're interested in what I'm doing, sign up for the Destination Decluttered email list. It's free. We do some good stuff there. It's kind of like a precursor to if you're interested in coaching, but you're not sure what it's like. It makes you feel comfortable. We do all sorts of fun things. What else? Like last night we did a Zoom call. I do a group Zoom once a month. Uh, there's a new, I will say this, I started this for everybody. I am showing up more starting this week on the Destination Decluttered Facebook page, doing some more kind of what I do here verbally. I'm writing down some of these things so to help you. So Destination Decluttered on Facebook, TikTok Lives, you get easy access to those, all sorts of things. So there's TikTok Lives, there's all sorts of resources available online, the email mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com, and the best one that I love the most is one-on-one coaching. And that's just because I love working with individuals. I love working just with you because you have specific things that are jamming you up, and then we can fix it or understand where you're coming from and do something different. So notice your daughter has a lot of stuff. If you're struggling with clutter, I'm going to bet anybody you raised has clutter habits. Okay? Oh, okay, what else? College stuff all over my house. Okay, when we declutter for someone else, it's so much easier to throw away their shit than us. Yes, Kit Kat, 100%. You know why? Oh, and actually, before I get to that, I will say this, because Kara's got it spot on. This is what I was going to say, because she's also a college grad mom. Oh boy. I suggest you just keep decluttering your stuff and model the behavior. Yeah, yeah. College stuff all over the house. So truly. What else do we have here? I can't drive 55. Exactly, Catherine. I love it. Okay, where was it? There was something good here. Yes, this is a really important thing because much like I said, how you're the driver in the car, but you've got two passengers, backseat driver. I always think mine is like a little scared little kid in a car seat that just wants to go to McDonald's drive-through over and over. Chicken fries, chicken, nuggets and fries. That's not what I want to do with my life. I want to go to the cool vintage diner with the spinny seats and the breakfast 24/7 and the cool vintage patina. And so I want to go there. So I calm down the little things. I always think of my nieces and nephews. It's crazy. They're now 18 and 21 and 22. When they were little, I had to convince them, hey, yeah, no, we're not going to McDonald's. You know where we're going? What's a diner? I don't know what a diner is. That sounds weird. This place is sketchy. It's like, no, this place is awesome. You want pancakes for lunch? You want real maple syrup? You want to spin on the spinny seats? I'm not going to take you anywhere scary. It's a road trip. We're going someplace fun. We do not drive any place that is truly scary. Now, change may be scary, but I feel like I'm driving right now, kind of doing a little bit of a detour. So I'm gonna redirect. What I want to offer is when we declutter for someone else, it's so much easier to throw away their shit because you know why? You cannot hear the stories that their stuff tells them. Your stuff tells you stories. Only you can hear them. My stuff tells me stories. I could give you a tour of what every single thing means. Where did I get that thing? Where did I get that? Where did I get that? Why do I keep it? Because there's a story attached to it. You have your stories and you can hear them. That's why it's more challenging for you because it's not just a piece of paper. That's a poor paper plate. It's not just, a tape dispenser. It's that time that your mother bought everybody tape dispensers and like a lifetime supply of Scotch tape for Christmas and you're still using it even 12 years from now. Yeah, you can't hear somebody else's stuff. They can. That's why it's easier for you to help somebody else with theirs because you just see it as it is. You don't see the underlying story. You see it as it is as something that somebody bought somewhere. You don't see the connections and the sentimental, the story behind it. So yeah, you're true. But the neat thing is you can listen to the stories of your stuff, listen to them, and then make a decision. Do I want that story? Do I want that thing? Do I need that many of those things, regardless of if I used to get into buying mugs on every trip? Okay. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. I'm kind of backing up. Everything, it's so funny. I think everything's interesting. All right. You're welcome for all the tips. Okay. Miss Julie's asking, I'm a mail list subscriber. How do I view the YouTube? Wicked easy. Okay, two things. For everybody, you can just go to YouTube, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I just last night organized the videos because there are well over 200 recorded TikTok lives and a bunch of the videos that I used to put here on TikTok, on the YouTube channel, and I organize them by month. Now, I still haven't figured out a way to make all the months chronological, but they are all there. You may need to look on the home page to see like the April ones and things like that. However, since you're a mailing list subscriber, you also have access to the recordings for the May ones. There is information in the emails that I send out with the link to the private folder of the May ones. Once May is over, those will go public, and June will be available just to subscribers. Miss Julie, if you don't have that info, shoot me an email, beth@destinationdecluttered.com, and I can give you that link. It's just one of those things that I like to do something cool. I like to thank people for being on the mailing list. Okay. There was something else somebody said that I wanted to get to. Jaded Lieber, are you familiar with family part systems? I think one of my clients mentioned that, but it's not in my wheelhouse, no. So this is interesting. Yes. KitKat60 says, that is difficult with daughters. I'm a daughter. I can hear my daughter saying, Mom, don't you dare throw that out. Of course. Yeah. Because you know what? You're throwing away their stuff. Would you like it if somebody threw away your stuff? No. But that's because you only see it as a thing. You don't know the story behind it. Yeah. Jen is saying, yeah, I could easily take my mom's clothing hoard to Goodwill in 30 minutes. The stories are the things that keep us stuck with it. And, we are humans. The neat thing is, think about this. Kind of in a very kind of logical manner. We are humans, and we make up stories about everything. This is how we communicate. This is how we connect. This is how we make sense of this random world that we're in. But I want to offer this with regards to clutter. Clutter is items. So here's an item. It comes into your life. You get it from Target. It comes to you, whatever. It, on the surface, is a mug. It is a mug that is useful because it holds a liquid and you use it. However, we are humans, so we tend to attach a story to it. It didn't come in the mail because I bought this. I made this for myself. Yep, every little bit helps. I made this for myself when it came in, or even just, you buy it and it's just a mug. You see 50 million of them on the road. You buy one, but then you attach a story to it. Oh, that's the one we got on vacation. Oh, that's the one I made for myself because I thought I might want to, make, Destination Decluttered merch. Oh, that's the mug that my dad used to, drink out of. We have a thing and we attach a story to it. Just notice that. Notice the stories that are attached to your stuff. The thing. It's kind of like a barnacle or, whatever, however it attaches. The cool thing is that because you have the ability to attach it, you can also detach it and realize that now you have two things, really. You have the thing and you have the story. Once you detach it, then you can get curious about, do I want to keep this story at all? And if the answer is yes, how can I keep the story and not necessarily keep the thing? Just notice that. The thing didn't exist. It came from a factory in China. The thing did not be created. Sometimes things have stories, but you can detach them. But also you can have things that attach wonderful stories. I got wonderful stuff right here that reminds me of good things. But the stories, I like them, so I keep them because the stories remind me of good stuff. Okay? What if they say, I'll look at it later, I'll organize later, but later never happens? Follow up. Follow up with yourself. Do you do that at all? I want you. Here's the thing I will say to you in all sincerity. And I want you to get better at this stuff before you try to get anybody else better at something. It's almost like teaching somebody else how to parallel park if you're not good at yourself. Are there times, GGX 2000, are there times when you say, I'll look at it later, I'll organize it later, and then later kind of never happens? What you're going to notice if the answer is yes is that you have good intentions, or maybe you're just afraid of making a decision. Or maybe you don't know how to do it, or it feels overwhelming. There's many reasons why we say later, later, later. But all that it happens, if we don't realize that and do something different there, we are dealing with maybe decades worth of clutter. Okay? Just notice that. And you can do something about it. But in all sincerity, give people a deadline. I do this with my husband all the time. I do, because there are things that are a priority to me. And here's an interesting thing. We can have our own timeline of when we think something should happen. I want this done. Other people have their own timeline. Maybe they're still intending to get to it, but later is so ambiguous. How about, could you get in touch with so-and-so before we leave to go down to the park? Before we watch TV, could you please put away the dishes? Something like that. Carla is saying, I gave my kids a deadline. Yeah. Kit Kat is saying, yeah, my mom sold all my handmade pottery at a rummage sale when I moved out. I was furious with her. Yes. So seriously, people, at the very beginning, stay in your lane. Work with your stuff so you can practice on yourself. Because once you learn this different system, I don't know. Once you learn how to declutter, once you learn how to listen to your thoughts, feel the feelings, do something with your stuff, and do it, then from that point of knowledge, you can, with sincerity and just stone cold certainty, help the people. But you can't help them if you don't know how to do it yourself. So learn for yourself. Get good with yourself. And then you can help other people. I love it. Carla, you're so on fire. I freaking love it. Carla's like, I am done letting someone else tell me where to vacation. This is my one life trip. Yeah. Cat Mom is saying, started collecting pretty mugs years ago, have given some away. Yeah, I've started collections, and I realized at a certain point, it goes from being fun to being like, oh, I guess I should get that. And that's when I've learned to stop. So I have had some half-started collections, and I also realize right now I can still enjoy things without necessarily starting a collection. And man, it's a slippery slope when you start collecting things on vacation. So I have stopped that, and I feel okay with it, Alrighty, I have barnacles. I'll be able to swim better. I love it. As I scrape them off. Yeah, exactly. Hard to detach your art, though. I'm an artist. Well, I'll offer this, Kit Kat 60. I know a lot of artists. I am friends with a lot of artists. One of my artists literally burns some of his canvases he doesn't want because he doesn't want them around anymore. You can detach your art if you want to keep it. Or how about this? Sell your art. There's all sorts of things. But just notice that there is a connection there. When you're creating art, there's a story there. There's something there. But you get to decide which ones you keep for yourself and sell the rest. Give it away. Burn it. There's different ways of doing it. All right, what else? Queen of Sass is saying, I definitely need your help. Oh my God. That's why I show up, people. Even at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Friday after having too much cotton candy for dinner. Cotton candy for dinner. Am I not just the littlest kid? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and say screw you to the kale and the salad, and I'm going to have cotton candy. Oh, this is good, this is good, this is good. And then I wake up in the morning going, oh, why did I do that? It's going to happen, okay? So Queen of Sass, let me help you with this. Wicked quick. I've got my TikTok page here, Beth Destination Decluttered. If you just found me, follow my page. I do these TikTok lives quite often, but I will say for you and for everybody, I can see it down the road because this is how I think of it, is we've got this weekend and next week, Memorial Day weekend, and the next 2 weeks after that, I am off the digital grid, so I will not be showing up live, but I've got you covered because there are over 200 recorded TikTok lives on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel that you can pop on and listen to as you're decluttering, listen to it like a podcast, watch it, and get some tips, get some inspiration, get some community. So you're not alone even when I'm not here physically. But also, I do one-on-one coaching. Now, I have a coaching package, 10 sessions, one session a week, for 10 weeks in a row, or 20 weeks, or 30 weeks, however many packages you want to sign up for. And we meet once a week for an hour on Zoom. I work with clients all over the country. I say this because I have a map here with little 70 smiley faces in all the states that I have clients and have had clients. And at a day and time that works for you. It's my paid coaching. It's the only thing I, charge money for. So if you're interested in that, destinationdecluttered.com is my website. You sign up for a consultation. I have consultation things next week you can do. Then I don't, and then I will. And then there's also a mailing list. You can find out about that at destinationdecluttered.com. But if you need my help, I am here for you in all the different varieties. The kind of, it's almost like when you buy the towels, I'm thinking like good, better, best. It's kind of like that. Okay. Your husband doesn't let you throw away anything. How do you declutter? By picking the stuff that's just yours. And also, maybe you don't throw it away. Maybe you donate it. Maybe you sell it. There's different things. Decluttering doesn't mean everything goes in the garbage. Okay. Do I mentor? I coach. Paid coaching. That's my thing. Jen is saying, thanks for a great start for the morning. Oh, it's already 8 o'clock. I gotta wrap this up, people. Let me see. You're welcome. You're welcome. I am an East Coast early bird. That's why I tend to do this, but I will offer this to everybody. And I'm sorry if I couldn't get to your questions and your comments, but check on my TikTok page. There's a pinned video that shows you the schedule. I'll have to double check on that for when I'm going to show up for the next many days. Maybe it already ends today. I'm going to check on that, but if it does, I'll do an update because I know if you're on the mailing list or if you're on the Destination Decluttered mailing list, you already know when I'm going to show up between now and the 24th. I will double check the one that is on the TikTok page. And seriously, how do I want to wrap this up? You got this. I can help you. If you're struggling with something, you're not alone, and there's help out there, and it's not as difficult as your backseat drivers are telling you. Okay? Trust me, if I can do this, anybody can. All right? I love it when we've got all this community going on. I freaking love it. You are not alone. Yep, got to go read the email. And Jen, if you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me, okay? Beth, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach. I don't know, I'm going to go take a walk, take a shower, maybe try to work out some of this cotton candy. And yeah, I probably will eat some more of it later. It's how I'm a human who loves sweet stuff. So, you can do this. You can do this, okay? Follow my page. You can do this. I may be showing up tomorrow morning for a TikTok live, but I don't know when. So follow my page and put on some sort of that notification thing that says notify me when my people are on. And I am here for you, so you be here for you. How's that? All right? Good night, everybody. It's like the Donnie Marie Show. Bye-bye.